friends, welcome to Rebelo's. I hope you all are well, safe, by God's grace. I've come over here today I brought a recipe for you today. You will see the recipe on the video with the pictures and the amount of ingredients to it, but I've got something different for you today, something that is very dear to a Goan, to his heart, especially when he comes from a place of a beach, enjoy the sun, the sea, and I bought some crabs, amazing crabs. Let me show you what I'm gonna do next with the crab. If you can guess, Crab Shack Shack is one of the very closest to the hearts of Goan people. So, not just Goan people, I think I got it wrong. To everyone who eats it, doesn't matter who it is. So, I'm gonna do this recipe up, but I've done some changes to it. When I say I've done some changes, I've added some things to it, which maybe not be exactly the traditional way what you must be expecting, but I've given it something that gives a richness to it, a slightly different. It's the Rebelo's way. You get it. Let me take you straight to the ingredients, and you'll know what you would need when you do it at home. I've got some crabs over here. I've got 4 crabs, cleaned. You can see I've left them whole. I've left them completely on just for the photograph purposes, for plating. I'm gonna marinate that with a lemon, a chili, and a little bit of salt. And for the next thing, for the paste, I've got some dry desiccated coconut, and there's some fresh coconut right underneath. For the recipe, you can follow the photographs that I put with the ingredient quantity. And I've got coriander seeds, fresh coriander, Kashmiri red chilies, cinnamon, peppercorn, some cloves, some turmeric powder, cumin, ginger garlic, tamarind, the love of Goan. Well, that's the ingredients that we need to roast them off, fry them off. Sorry, I forgot about the onions. Some onions into that as well. That gives a good hint. And for the curry, to prepare, like sauteing off, I need some onions, butter. That's the change I've done. I've alternated for the amount of oil to a little bit of butter to give it a slightly creamier, slightly richer taste. Some coriander, some salt, tomato finely chopped. So I'll take you to the next stage where I'm just gonna chop up the curry for the paste. So we need the onion sliced, and I'll show you what I do next in the pan. Now, on the crabs, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add that salt over it, and that's sea salt though. Chinese sea salt, much better. So, and I would be saying I didn't cut it up, or just I'm doing for the photograph. So add that salt to it. So with some chopped green chilies. Just throw it in. Don't have to worry much. Just throw it in. Now take your lemon. Get your hands there. Make sure you wash your hands. So get your hands. Squeeze that lemon on top. Okay, and then you've got the other lemon. Make sure you put whole lemon in. Don't try and use the bottled stuff. Well, if you've got it handy with you, make sure you use the bottled stuff. But there's something good in using the fresh lemon, then especially when it comes to seafood, shellfood. It's just amazing. The freshness. Love the smell of lemon. So do that and just let it sit down for a couple of minutes, and I'll take you to the stage where we roast off the spices to form the paste. So let me take you there. I'm gonna slice this onion. That's to go for the curry paste. All you need is roughly sliced, not much. And don't do what I'm doing. Be careful of your fingers. Okay, I'm gonna add the onion now. Turn the heat high. While the onions are getting fried, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add that tamarind. Make sure you take the seeds off, add the tamarind in 240 ml water, and just allow it to soak by the time we roast off the spices and the coconut to form a paste. Now you can see the onions have slightly been roasted. What I'm doing over here is I'm not adding any oil into this part. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna add the ginger garlic to it. Ginger garlic, slightly roasted. Then I'm going to add the chilies to it. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is then add the coconut, and those chilies and ginger garlic have been there for less than a minute. So try and make sure you get that slightly roasted color on that, and then your coconut. So I said I've got some fresh coconut. The reason I put some dry coconut because I ran out of fresh coconut, so I had an alternative to put some dry coconut. But if you've got fresh coconut, you know, is the best. So add that, stir it up, just roast it. While roasting, I know this takes a little bit longer. If you remember a Goan song, just sing it along. Now you see the coconut has been roasted. I've been roasting it for last 2 minutes now. So once you see the coconut roasted, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add all the spices straight into the pan. There you go. That sounds amazing, the Goan music on the background. So the reason I add spices to it on top is I'm not allowing it to burn the spices. I want it roasted. I've not added the oil. I'm doing a slow roast. So once you do the slow roast, you know, you're not allowing to overly burn the spices. So there you go. That's just my way of doing it. But if you're comfortable doing by frying off this or roasting off the spices first, please, why not try it like that? I just prefer it doing like this, and if you want to stick to my way, you got it. So, and for the last stage, I'm just gonna throw in the coriander, the fresh coriander to it, and just slightly roast it for a few minutes, say a minute or two. Now while our spices, the roasted spices and the coconut, while it cools down, what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop the onions to go for the curry, and let me show you. So I'm going to chop up for the curry now. So I'm going to chop the onion. So just chop up the onion. Doesn't matter if it is really fine. If you can do it really fine, it's good. It doesn't really matter. So, okay. And don't worry if you haven't chopped it really fine. If you haven't chopped it really fine, actually hold your knife that way, go down. That's how you do it. Very simple. Okay. And now we chop the tomato. So you could add the tomato. Don't have to really chop the tomato. Just do them into wedges. I like it nice and chopped. So do the tomatoes into wedges. Do them slightly smaller. So, and when it comes to the chili, cut it lengthwise, and then just do 4 out of 1. So we got 2 chilies. Cut that lengthwise, and then split it up again into half. Now you said, Ash, you've left the seeds in over there. Well, you can add it. There's no problem to that. If you want it nice and spicy, why not add the chilies too? And the last thing to do is just, you don't want to chop it really fine, just roughly chop it. Just roughly chop it. So now you're ready for the mass. Okay, there you go. There you go. And you should have You've got your onions over here, slit chilies, bit smaller wedges of tomatoes, and some roughly chopped coriander. So they're ready to start frying off. Before that, the roasted spices, I'm going to form it into paste, and I'll show you what it looks like once it turned into. Okay, here is the paste that that's quite a lot, but it's good. The more curry you have, I'll tell you what, you will enjoy it. So that's the curry paste done up. So now we've added the butter and the oil. You can see the butter is melted. I'm gonna add the onions to it. So chopped onion. Add the onions. Fry the onions. About just under a minute. Just fry it off. Make sure you put the flame on high. Fry it off for a minute. Nice and evenly spread it around. Then add the green chilies. Voila! Nice and spicy. Okay. Allow for about 30 seconds after you put the chilies. And now you can add the roasted tomato wedges in. Stir it for a couple of minutes, do it about 2 minutes from now. And after the end of 2 minutes, we're gonna add the paste that we did straight in. I've added all the paste. That's okay. And say, if you think it's too much, for you, what you can always do is fry off the paste with some little bit of coconut oil. That's like a tip for you to save your curry paste. Fry off the paste with a little bit of coconut oil. Cool it down. Put it in a glass jar. Put it in the fridge, and that will last you for a week plus. So if you think this is too much paste, just save some for the next time. So what I'm going to do now is I've added that. I'm just going to slowly stir it. I'm just frying off the paste along with it under a really nice medium heat. And now you can see the curry paste that is sizzling. Just be careful when you're around so that it doesn't be very gentle with that. Make sure you don't get that splattering on your hands or face, but if you do, make sure you get some cold water straight away. Okay, so what we're gonna do next is we're gonna add the crabs what we'll do now is we'll add the crabs to it. So what I'm gonna do is lift that crab up straight. I'm gonna let it sit straight into that crab. Let it sit straight in. Just let it straight in. Okay. Next, I'm gonna add I've rinsed off the jar with the masala that was in. What I'm gonna do is pour it over. Okay. That way the entire crab is covered. And I'm gonna close the lid. Put a lid over it before even I stir it. Just be safe when you do it. Just shake the pot a little bit and get a lid over it. Once I get a lid over it, I'm just going to allow it to slow cook for 15-20 minutes, and then I'll show you what happens next. And now that's been about 20-25 minutes, closed nicely. You can see that's there ready. And the final bit is just check for seasoning. Now finish off with some salt to taste. And pepper. That's it. And now we add the coriander that was roughly chopped. Right over it. And that's it. Our Goan crab shak is ready. The Rebelo is ready. There you go. So you serve that crab down. Bit of sauce. Okay, a bit of sauce. I'm gonna add just a simple garnish. With that, a bit of lemon. There you go. Crab shak ready. Well, friends, that was crab shak for you. Let me know if you've done it, if you've made this dish. Follow the recipe through the videos I will be sending in the measurements on the photograph, so you'll be able to check that. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Till then, bye bye from the Rebelos.